The eve of Fáilte Park in Croaky. Good afternoon and welcome. You are joining us here in Croke Park for what is today the draw for the group stage of the Maguire Cup and the Tailteann Cup for 2025. A lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation, particularly after the way some of the results went in the provincial championships over the course of the weekend. Delighted to say that joining me here in Croke Park today is Central Competitions Control Committee Chairperson Brian Carroll and GAA Director of Club, Player and Games Administration Fergal McGill. Gentlemen, you're both very welcome. Brian, there was always going to be a lot of anticipation for today's draw, particularly so now after events in Portlaoise and elsewhere over the last few days.
That's correct, yeah. The men from Meath have certainly spiced up today's draw. There's huge interest in it, and you know, with Dublin back as a seed 3, it's definitely spiced it up, and it's going to be hopefully a very exciting championship.
Ferg, what are you looking forward to most over the next few minutes?
Yeah, looking forward to it all, to be honest with you, Dave. The Tailteann Cup is fascinating. It has really dug in as a competition over the last 2 years, so that's going to be very interesting. But I guess the Sam Maguire draw, I mean, it makes such a difference. If you can qualify from a group as the first place team rather than the second or third place team, there's a massive advantage in that, and we've seen that over the years. So it'll be really interesting to see those third and fourth seeds come out, and people start trying to see what groups are going to look like when the provincial finals are over. So yeah, very exciting, can't wait.
Yeah, it really is. Well, we are going to get to the Sam Maguire Cup draw very soon, but first we are going to run off today's draw for the group stage of the 2025 Tailteann Cup. Just to explain to some of our viewers at home, like the past 2 years, on the table you will see 4 bowls. These 4 bowls contain teams seeded based on their finishing positions in this year's Alliance Leagues. Fergal will select 4 teams from Bowl 1, each of which will enter into a different group, starting with Group 1, followed by Group 2, then 3, and then finally Group 4. Once completed, he will then select 4 teams from Bowl 2, which will again enter the group sequentially. Then Brian will be up to select the 4 teams from Bowl 3, which will enter the groups in the same fashion before drawing from Bowl 4 and selecting the final participants in each group. Each group will feature 4 teams, each group consisting of a first, a second, a third and a fourth seed. New York, of course, will enter the Tailteann Cup at the preliminary quarter-final stage, and to note, teams who've already played each other in this year's provincial football championships, they can be drawn in the same groups. So, off we go. Bowl 1. These are our first seeds.
So the first team out of the draws this year is Kildare.
Kildare beaten by Louth in the Leinster Football Championship semi-final at the weekend.
And in Group 2, our first seed in Group 2 will be Offaly.
A decent year for Offaly, achieved promotion from Division 3 of the Alliance Football League.
And first seed in Group 3 will be on Irvie, Westmeath.
Westmeath relegated to Division 3 this season after some really good performances. And of course, the inaugural Tailteann Cup champions.
All going well, it means we should only have, and we do have, Fermanagh left.
Fermanagh finished just 1 point outside the promotion places in Division 3 of the Football League this season. On to Bowl 2.
So our second seeds, and joining Kildare in Group 1 will be Sligo.
Sligo lost out to Down after extra time in last year's Tailteann Cup.
And along with Offaly in Group 2, we are going to have their neighbours, Laois.
Last year's Tailteann Cup runners-up retained their place in Division 3 this season.
And joining Westmeath is Limerick.
Promoted from Division 4 of the Football League this year.
Which means that joining Fermanagh will be Lochgarman, Wexford.
Yeah, Wexford, who emerged from Division 4 alongside Limerick a few weeks ago. Okay, Brian, over to you. We will now draw the names from Bowl 3, our third seeds.
Third seed is Leitrim.
Leitrim produced a really good display against Mayo in their Connacht Senior Football Championship game a couple of weeks ago.
Going into Group 2 will be Kilwanton, Wicklow.
Wicklow, who narrowly missed out on promotion to Division 3 of the Alliance Football League this year. Impressive as well in how they took on Dublin and Ockram a couple of weeks back.
And our next team is Antrim.
So Antrim join Westmeath and Limerick.
And our final third seed team is Carlow.
Carlow, a mixed league campaign, finished mid-table in Division 4. And so on to Bowl 4 and our fourth seeds.
Tipperary.
A tough year for Tipperary so far, but they did reach the preliminary quarter-final stage of the Tailteann Cup last season.
And our next team out is Port Lariga, Waterford.
So Waterford, who were knocked out by Tipperary in this year's Munster Football Championship.
Our next team, London.
London, who also reached the knockout stages of last year's Tailteann Cup.
And our final team out, men from Longford.
So the emergence of Longford into Group 4 concludes the 4 groups of 4 teams for this year's Tailteann Cup group stage. A lot to look forward to in there. The counties can immediately start wondering where and when they will be in action next. A lot of good football to be played over the coming weeks. That concludes our Tailteann Cup group stage draw. We do, of course, have the draw for the Maguire Cup still to come, but we prepared the bowls for the second draw of the day here at Croke Park. We'll give you a quick recap on what was some brilliant action from last weekend's 4 Provincial Football Championship semi-finals. And Meath are winning all the breaks, and they're demolishing this Dublin kick-out in these opening few minutes. Back out it goes to Frayne. Frayne gets everything he has behind that. The distance that Meath goalkeeper Billy Hogan got on his kick-out there, that'll be something Dublin will be so wary of, particularly when they change ends. Costello back inside, picked up by Owen Frayne. Frayne looking for a 2-pointer, and Frayne delivers. Another member of that Leinster Championship winning team at minor level, Owen Frayne, 5 years ago. Another shot at goal for Keith Curtis. Well, it's been given away by Tyrrell. And a chance for Menton for 2 points. Brian Menton fires it over the bar. Conor O'Callaghan looks to get Dublin up and running off a breaking ball around the middle. And Meath have been turned over here, and getting on with it is Davy Byrne now. He's got Conor O'Callaghan ahead of him. Con breaking through, he's got Costello in space. O'Callaghan still going, inside it goes, Costello! Huge moment! Only 5 between them now, and now a lot more of the breaks are going Dublin's way. O'Callaghan, he's playing a ball inside to Costello. Corbin Costello for Dublin! Huge save by Hogan. Still not clear though, and an opportunity for McGuinness, who's touched it on the ground. Colin Pascal. Nice jink inside, beating Aaron Lynch. Pascal looking for 2 points! Colin Pascal with an absolutely enormous score for Dublin. Back out it goes to Caulfield. Caulfield switches the play. Maybe a shooting opportunity for Aaron Lynch to make it a 3-point game. The Leinster champions Dublin. They've won 14. They've won 19 of the last 20, but they've been dethroned in Portlaoise.
Colm Dalton sprays it across the field. Callum Bolton from Sarsfields goes by Tommy Dernan, shoots high and over the bar. Ball rolled back to Mulroy. This for a 2-pointer outside the arc. He struck it beautifully. Peter Lynch looking to pick out Lennon inside, who does really well. Here's the chance. They've created it for McCardle. Goal chance! It's Conall McKeever. Now Alex Byrne has it. Definitely playing through the pain barrier at the minute. He's going to take on the shot though. This to tie it all up.
You kind of have to feel that it's going to, both teams are going to have phases in these last 10 minutes, and to make best use of it.
Here's a chance for Craig Lennon. Well, he's the man for the big occasion. As Kildare come right across the field to Colm Dalton, takes on Lennon, backs himself for pace, and backs himself to score. The shooting chance is set up for Kieran McCardle, and Kieran McCardle Great run by Nally just to really switch the emphasis for Louth. Here's Tommy Dernan from way outside the 40-metre arc. Tommy Dernan from downtown has kicked an outrageous two-pointer. And it's all over. And Louth, for the first time since 1914, are heading to the Leinster Senior Football Final for the third season in a row. Beautiful day here in Clones, and a place in the Ulster Final up for grabs. First chance here will be for Kieran Daly to make some headway. Gives it to Dara Canavan.
They're going to have another shot here.
This for a two-pointer. Looks good. Terrific kick. Armagh forced Tyrone to come back out around again. McKernan screaming for it. Kilpatrick instead is going to shoot from just inside the 45-metre line. Picks it up on the wing and sets Darren McMullen away. Connaughty back to Oisín O'Neill, who has all the time he needs to line up the target. Kilpatrick shovels it off to Peter Hart, who's going for it from way outside the arc. What a score!
Here it is.
It's Stephen Campbell who's gone for it. It's coming in. And Stephen Campbell has delivered the equaliser. So it's Rory Grugan to win the Ulster semi-final. It's all over. The All-Ireland champions march on and into a third successive Ulster final.
Long kick out by Ronan Burns. Into the breeze. Donegal have the breeze in the first half. But Down seem to be getting through and penetrating quite well. They trail by a point, and now they're level. Shane O'Donnell. Shane O'Donnell again. Here's Murphy. Murphy, right-footed, and again he's hit the post, but this time it pops over. Donegal attacking. Michael Langan. Chance of a goal here. Oh, nicely finished by Paddy McRaerty. Moogan. Paddy Moogan once again. This is a two-point attempt. Darragh O'Boyle has got the 2 points. Now, just need to be a little bit quicker now getting the ball forward. They were a bit pedestrian in the first half. Oh, good tackle though. Haverin though, playing a bit of soccer. Here's Brannigan. Oh, here's Miller. Goal chance. Gotta go for goal. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Well, if Dana got that goal, it would have been a completely different game, this. Haverin. This is going for a 2 as well. Can he get it? Yes, it is. Well, there's 3 gilt edge opportunities there. Gonna begging for Down. The other end, though, and they're going to make them pay for it. And again, Burns pulls off a terrific save. 119 to 16 points.
Yeah, very memorable weekend in the football semi-finals at provincial level, and of course we still have some provincial finals still to look forward to, all 4 taking place over the next couple of weeks. Brian and Fergal are still with me. It is time to move on to the group stage draw for this year's Sam Maguire Cup. Similar to the earlier draw, on the table you will see 4 bowls. Bowl 1 containing the first seeds of the championship, the provincial champions. Bowl 2 contains the second seeds. They will be the provincial runners-up. Bowl 3 is the third seeds, who are the 4 highest placed teams from the 2025 Alliance Leagues who have not qualified for their provincial finals, those being Roscommon, Dublin, Tyrone and Monaghan. And the 4th and final bowl consisting of the next 4 highest placed teams after the conclusion of this year's Alliance Leagues. In this case, it's Cavan, Cork, Derry and Down. It is important to note that teams who are due to meet in a provincial final either this weekend or next, seeds 1 and 2 cannot be drawn into the same group. However, teams who've already played each other earlier in the provincial football championships, they can be drawn together in the same group. So again, Brian will select 4 teams from Bowl 1, each of which will be entered into a different group, starting with Group 1, Group 2, then 3, and then Group 4. Once completed, he will then select 4 teams from Bowl 2, which will again enter the group sequentially. Then it'll be over to Fergal. He'll be selecting the 4 teams from Bowl 3, which will enter the groups in the same fashion, before drawing from Bowl 4 and selecting the final participants in each group. So Brian, over to you with Bowl 1.
First team out going into Bowl 1 is the Ulster winners.
So either Armagh or Donegal, who meet for the 2nd consecutive year in the Ulster final in Clones.
Second team out is the Munster winners.
Kerry and Clare taking each other on in Fitzgerald Stadium this weekend. Clare looking for a first provincial title since 1992.
Our next team will be the Leinster winners.
And what an occasion that should prove to be. Louth taking on Meath here in Croke Park in a couple of weeks' time.
And our final team will be our Connacht winners.
So that will be either Galway or Mayo, who meet in Castlebar in the Connacht Decider this weekend. So over to Bowl 2, Brian.
First out is our Connacht runner-up.
So again, either Galway or Mayo joining the Ulster champions in Group 1.
Next out will be our Munster
So
runner-up.
the Munster runners-up cannot be drawn in the same group as the Munster champions, Fergal.
Yeah, so obviously what we'll ask Brian to do is draw someone else, and then when he has done that, whoever he draws now will join the Munster winners in Group 2. So where you go, Brian?
Next is the Leinster runner-up.
So either Louth or Meath will join the Munster champions, and Fergal replacing the Munster runners-up back into Bowl 2.
Give them a good spin there as well. There.
So back to you again, Brian.
Next we have the Munster runner-up.
So that again, either Kerry or Clare joining the Leinster champions in Group 3. And our final team from Bowl 2.
Final team is the Ulster runner-up.
So Armagh or Donegal in there with either Mayo or Galway. Okay, next up, Fergal. Bowl 3, please, our third seeds.
So joining the Ulster winners and the Connacht runners up will be a biggie, Tyrone.
Tyrone in there with the Ulster champions and either Mayo or Galway. Very interesting indeed.
So with the Munster winners and the Leinster runners up, we will have Brian's Roscommon.
You can feel Brian flinch here beside me as Roscommon drawn in Group 2 alongside the Munster champions and the Leinster finalists.
And joining the Leinster winners and the Munster runners up will be Monaghan.
Monaghan in there with either Kerry or Clare
I
and the
suspect-
Leinster champions, either Meath or Louth.
I suspect people know what this means. Joining the Connacht winners and the Ulster runners up will be Auchlia, Dublin.
Dublin, unfamiliar territory in Pot 3, and there they are in with either Mayo or Galway and either Armagh or Donegal. Fourth seeds.
Yep, so completing Group 1 will be on Cavan. Completing Group 2 with the Ulster winners, the Leinster runners up and Roscommon, we have Cork.
Cork showed how much improvement they are making under John Cleary in their Munster semi-final defeat to Kerry.
Group 3, Leinster winners, Munster runners up Monaghan and another Northern County on Doon.
So down the reigning Tailteann Cup champions.
Leaves the final team to be drawn today. I think people will have figured this out as well. It's last year's league champions. Derry joined Dublin, the Connacht winners and the Ulster runners up in But can I be the first one to call it the group of death, please? So the group of death. There you go.
Proverbial group of death. Derry in there alongside Dublin and the Ulster runners-up and the Connacht senior football champions. Well, there's so much to be excited about and to be interested in those 4 groups that have been drawn. I know that those of you at home will already be plotting your way over the next couple of weeks and deciding on what games you may be getting to. Thank you so much for joining us today in Croke Park for today's live draw. The fixture details will be made available in the coming weeks. And this weekend, don't forget, we have more action on GAA+. We've got live hurling action from the Munster Senior Hurling Championship when Waterford hosts Limerick. Thank you so much for being with us today. Fanny you leave, slán go fáil.